Hi, my name is Frank. I'm from Austria and I am in China since the COVID-19 outbreak has started. I've recently made a video in German talking about the experiences that we have collected in the time of isolation, which I shared with friends and family mostly. But I did get very good feedback, or very positive feedback, even from people that I did not know before. So I thought I might as well want to do this video in English too. So maybe I even can help more people and give them an idea how we pass the time during isolation. As of yesterday, Shenzhen had in total 450 cases, where 416 have been discharged from hospitals already. Three have passed away, and currently there are 31 cases in treatment, which are mostly from Chinese nationals that came back. So, although 31 new cases or recent cases have been imported cases, but there has not been any local infection within Shenzhen. So that is good news, even though there are still temperature checks in supermarkets, malls, bus stations, metro stations, and so forth. Slowly, you can see that bars, restaurants, and shops start to open. And in general, you can see way more people on the road. Pretty good, but it probably will still take some time until everything goes back to normal. So that means overall, we have been four people living in a 76 square meter apartment for already 8 weeks. And I hope that with this video, I can give you some ideas on how we spent the time and how you maybe can get some inspiration, how you can structure your time in the next upcoming weeks. First of all, I would like to put a disclaimer here that I am not a medical professional, not a virus expert, or any such kind of personality. So please, this is just information or experience that we have collected during the time being in isolation. So please make sure that what I'm going to propose also works for you. Number one, probably the most important, stay at home. This has probably been one of the most effective measures here in China to really flatten the curve and stop the spread. It's fairly simple. If you don't go outside, you can't get infected. And if you can't get infected, you can't infect somebody else. Or if you happen to be already infected, which you probably don't even know in the beginning, since you can already spread the virus without showing symptoms, it's just way better for you to stay home. Only go outside if really necessary. Uh, Other than that, stay at home. Number two, create yourself a routine and stick to it. Like, what time are you going to get up in the morning? What time are you going to go to bed? And how do you structure your day in between those two times? If you happen to work at home, structure your day like a regular working day, put in a lunch break, dress accordingly. That is, first of all, good for video conferences, but also it keeps your mind in the mood of working. Um, yeah, make a structure from Monday to Friday or Saturday, depending on how long you work. We also structure a week. For example, Tuesdays is our shopping day. We go once a week shopping. I will explain this one more later. Saturdays is cleaning the apartment and relaxing, and Sunday is just purely relaxing. If you happen to be at home and don't need to work, then still find some activity that you can do to pass the time. The more variety you have, the better. Which brings me to number three, the more activities, the better. Do you ever wanted to learn a new language or brush up an old one? Boom, mobile app Duolingo. Or did you ever want to learn, I don't know, chess? Masterclass.com. Right now is really the time for things that you always wanted to do but never really had to, or maybe do that you really never thought of. Yeah, developing your own business or improving on your current one, learn a new skill. There are so many platforms available, free or paid online, that really help you to work on yourself and improve yourself instead of just watching TV shows or playing video games. Because afterwards, let's face it, we all won't have the time again for those things. This also helps to keep a variety of activities going, which hopefully avoids you to create a monotone uh, daily life, which probably makes you very tired and bored and frustrated or depressed later on. So, again, the more activities, the better. Number four, living together. Should you happen to live with parents, grandparents, wife, husband, and or kids, then this one is also very important, which is uh, something that people may not think about. We all have our tics and bad habits, and especially if you live confined in a small space for a period of time, all of that will be amplified, and there is friction just inevitably coming up. So how we dealt with this situation was we are trying to be as honest with each other as possible. If there's something that is frustrating to you, or you're feeling depressed, or any such things, then you really should talk about these things and try to solve them together. Put your ego aside for a moment and really take a deep breath before you freak out, because at the end, everybody has to deal with each other, and that worked for us really well. Another thing that is very important is having alone time. If you happen to live with people together, again, family or own family, then to create your own space where you can follow your own hobbies or whatever you do alone should be allowed for everybody. Everybody should have the free space. If your apartment happens to be really small, then you still can dedicate the bathroom as, for an example, a self-time room or something, so where people can go to really relax and be alone for a moment, since we all need that at one point too. Number five, movement. You're all gonna do way less movement than you have been doing before. It does not matter how lazy you were. I had a few weeks in a row where I would just like have 500 steps per day, which is really not much. Anybody who has a step counter can verify that. I also developed a shoulder issue because in the first 2 weeks I figured that, hey, I can just work in front of my computer all the time. So that's what I did. But because of the lack of motion, I developed a shoulder issue, which I'm still having an issue with. So how I solved this issue was I would set a timer for, let's say, half an hour, depending on how much I want to get done in that time. And once the time is up, I would get up and I would make an exercise until failure. There can be sit ups, there can be crunches, there can be push ups, pull ups, whatever you have available, or just like weird dumbbell motions if you want to. Once this usually takes 3 to 5 minutes. Afterwards, I would drink a cup of water, go back to my desk, continue to work with the timer running again. The next time the timer is off, I would do a different exercise. That just helped me to be active during the day. My wife and I also started to dedicate half an hour, 45 minutes in the evening to work out, to have some kind of like cardio training, where we use routines from the website derby.com. They have very, very good plans for like working out at home, which doesn't require any equipment. So this one is in addition very good. Overall, what we did is we try to keep our days as active as possible. That means we started to do like small things which we never done before, like start to bake our own bread. So right now we're not even purchasing bread anymore, or make pizza by ourselves. These are all like so small special things that we never did before, which do keep us active and keep us standing on our feet instead of lying on the couch or sitting in front of the computer. Number six, hands off fake news. Such times are always the best ways to spread rumors or conspiracy theories, but they just create panic and don't really help anyone. Um, we had the same thing, and we still have weird messages that go around that would make you freak out and you're like, oh my god. So what we would do is, if you can't verify it through different outlets or official reports, then we would not forward it or would not share it, because this just creates panic that nobody needs. If it scares you more than inform you, just ignore it. Just hands off of that. Um, as Especially if you're living with people together, that really affects your mood. And in this time, everybody should keep a cool head. Point seven, shopping. As already mentioned, we go shopping once a week. That has the advantage that in case you do get infected, you very easily can trace back where you have been and when you have been there. This is just a good information to know. What do we buy? Mostly meat, fruit, vegetables, other necessities that are missing at home. We never had a panic purchase of toilet paper, which I can't wrap my head around why that is a thing. But I'm more surprised that vitamins are not out of stock, but toilet paper. You want to keep a healthy strong immune system. So, kind of fruit, kind of vegetables. If you don't have that available, maybe vitamin supplement can help. But yeah, how do we go shopping? And also in general, if you have to, we're wearing masks. I do additionally wear gloves because I do some DIY stuff at home where I sometimes cut myself or have open wounds on my fingers. So I try to protect myself with gloves. I found that neutral gloves are way more durable than latex ones, so they don't easily break when you're outside. So yeah, also very important, make yourself a shopping list, so that once you go shopping, you know exactly what you're looking for. So you're going in, you get your stuff, and you go outside. You go back out. You want to reduce the time around people as much as you possibly can. Also, in the beginning, I wore always the same clothes, which I would then immediately wash when I come back at high temperature. If that's a thing that works, I don't know, probably not, but it definitely made me feel safer. All in all, isolation is a strange thing. You certainly can't do the things that you like to do outside, at least for some time. I'm a passionate pool player, but I haven't held a cue stick in my hand for weeks. But overall, it's not that bad. You can get the chance to develop yourself in directions that you ever wanted to or never even thought of you could. So, yeah, if you have any questions, if you need any advice on how we were dealing with things, hey, please leave me a comment. I try to answer it as best as I can. Make the best of it, have as much fun as you can, and yeah, you're surely not alone since you're along with 2.5 billion other people in isolation. Take good care, stay healthy, over and out.